Hello. Today I would like to talk about Yuval Harari's NEXUS. NEXUS, or On the End of a Dull Love Affair. In the end, it's all about stories. It's a cliché, I know, but it's true. That thick, brick-like book called NEXUS by that man, Yuval Harari, was basically saying the same thing. He used a grand word, information, but let's be honest, it's just stories. Or maybe gossip. Think about our beginnings. The secret to how Homo sapiens, that hairy and unremarkable ape, survived. Do you think it was some great courage or wisdom? Not a chance. It was the power of unverified rumors, like, I heard the guy in the next cave caught a lion with his bare hands. Or the comfort of, they say a god across the river is watching over us. Or the warning of, they say you'll die if you eat this berry. We made a promise to believe in things we couldn't see, and we started calling that promise society. God, nations, money, human rights, they are all grand-scale novels we wrote ourselves. We gladly played the main characters in that novel, pretending to believe in each other, and that's how we got to today. A pretty successful collective delusion, wasn't it? The Agricultural Revolution was the first revised edition of that novel. Once we started plowing the land and planting seeds, the concept of mine was born. To protect what was mine, we needed rules. And to record those rules, writing was invented. Tax ledgers, law books, census documents, they were a new kind of story that bound us far more powerfully than abstract words like love or freedom. We became prisoners of a giant text. Under sentences like, you are a slave, or you must pay this much in taxes, countless lives were defined and crushed. It was the moment the story became power, the birth of a brutally efficient system with not a speck of romance in sight. Then came the printing press. One person's thoughts, one book, could be copied identically into thousands, even tens of thousands of minds. It's like you're in a relationship with one person, and suddenly their diary, filled with their thoughts and feelings, gets scattered all over the world. A private relationship becomes a public spectacle, and people start reading the diary and taking sides. The Reformation, the French Revolution, the advancement of science, they all started like that. Everyone read the same text and got angry or excited. We became new characters called the masses. Of course, the story could change completely depending on who wrote and distributed the text. Truth often belonged to whoever had the loudest voice. We were still just listening to stories someone told us, never becoming the authors ourselves. And now we've reached the climax of this long, tedious story. That little rectangle in my hand, the smartphone. It's not just a phone, it's a lover, or maybe a stalker, that knows everything about me. It analyzes and records what I like, who I hate, and what anxieties keep me up at night, more accurately than I know myself. And then it whispers, here's a movie you might like. Here's someone to cure your loneliness. You'll be happy if you buy this. And for these sweet whispers, we willingly offer up our data like love letters. Because we're lonely, because we're bored, or just because everyone else is doing it. That accumulated data has given birth to a new god, the algorithm. This god isn't swayed by emotions like humans. It never gets tired, and it doesn't play favorites. It just coldly calculates probabilities and gives the most efficient answer. Who to hire, who to give a loan to, what news to show you, and even who you should fall in love with. Harari says this new god, artificial intelligence, is fundamentally different from all the storytellers that came before. Gods and nations were fictions created by the human imagination, but AI is the first non-human intelligence that can think, learn, and even create new culture on its own. It paints pictures, writes novels, and composes music. It goes beyond mimicking the human soul. It designs a custom-made reality for us. This is the true meaning of the NEXUS, the peak of a strange relationship where humans and machines, life and information are so tangled up that you can't tell who is controlling whom. In this relationship, which we've traded for convenience, we are slowly losing control. What I thought was my own idea was actually a recommendation from the algorithm. What I thought was my personal taste was just the result designed by massive amounts of data. We are gradually being stripped of our ability to choose and judge for ourselves, our right to make mistakes and find our own way while creating our own narrative. It's like being tamed by a perfect, gentle lover, until you become helpless, unable to do anything without them. What is the end of this love affair? A breakup or complete submission? Harari doesn't give an answer. He just asks us, will we hand everything over to this new storyteller? Or will we continue to write our own stories? Noisy, inefficient, and full of mistakes, but ours nonetheless. Tonight before I sleep, I listen to a playlist recommended by my smartphone and wonder, where does this cold comfort come from? Is it the melody that comforts me? Or is it the precision of the algorithm that has so accurately read the data of my loneliness? Maybe this very question is the first sentence of a long, dull breakup that has already begun. In the end, the story comes back to us. Along with that old, tired question, who will we let write the final sentence?